Hey, this is Andrea.
And this is Amanda.
And you're listening to
Girls Nerd Out. Hello, everyone. It is me, Amanda, the Southern Mother of Dragons, and I have the Princess of Dragonstone here, who is also my best friend.
Hey.
And we are excited to talk to you about Dune Prophecy's 5th episode, which is called In Blood, Truth. What do you think about it, Andrea?
I really like that because it totally fits with how the end is, and then like what you said with Lila and Mother Superior Raquella. So yeah,
I think it's a very good title. It makes sense, but then at the end it really makes sense, which we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we start this episode off with Sister Francesca arriving on Salusa Secundus. And she, sorry, I'm already laughing about it. I mean, it's not funny. I was just surprised. So, Havaka had relations with her, and that's Constantine's mom. I was like, oh, okay, interesting, and makes sense, but still interesting. And poor Natalia. Hey, what do you think the age difference is between them, between Constantine and his sister?
Really close. Well, I used to think that he was younger than her, but I actually think they're about the same age.
I think so too. So you know what that's giving.
He was having sex with both women at the same time.
All right, here we go again. It's giving Robb Stark and Jon Snow. I'm sorry.
It is.
It's giving Robb Stark. Natalia's like, this is a bastard child. She is not happy at all. And I would not expect her to be. And basically, she knows that Francesca is there. So the power that she's gotten used to finally getting back, it's going to wane. She knows it. Because he's head over heels with her.
Oh yeah, and Francesca is beautiful. Like I'm not saying Natalia is not beautiful. She is, but I mean her dress in this episode. Well, both her dresses in this episode was amazing, especially the red one. The red dress was or maroon. I guess so you could say it's like a dark red. It's beautiful. It's stunning. It doesn't have anything on it. It's just plain, but it's beautiful, and it looked good on her. And I mean Nez's outfit. Everybody just looked great in this episode. But I want to say Francesca is stunning, like just beyond stunning.
Very much. She's beautiful. And I also found her voice to be very like relaxing. Like, yeah. I was like, could she just read a book or something? She's beautiful. Yeah. She is exotic, which makes sense because so is her son. And you're right. She's so pretty that it's not an elaborate outfit, but it seems like it. Because she's the jewel of the outfit, right? Yeah. But then you have Natalia, who is trying to get back her power and influence, and she's like loading on anything shiny. Like, hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. And in like the juxtaposition of the two women is interesting as hell. And I'm sure that's on purpose. I'm sure.
You know what they kind of gave me a bit, is, I mean, cause Natalia already doesn't like the Bene Gesserits, but obviously this situation is a lot different than the Bene Gesserits because Francesca is, her husband's mistress. So it's like, and she had a child. It's giving Cersei and Marjorie.
Yeah. Yep.
Just slightly different, obviously, but the situations are different, but that's what it's giving.
And then the prophecy of the younger Bene Gesserit will come and take everything from me. I'm just kidding. Well, it's interesting because so Francesca talks to Constantine, her son, and she's like, I got your message. And he's like, what? Wait, what? So he didn't send the message. And this is something that I was a little bit surprised about. And maybe you weren't, I don't know. You know, when they're talking about how Constantine has kind of been like a troublesome kid, like I didn't really pick up on that, but I mean, I get it. I mean, that's got to be difficult, but I never really thought that like he gave his dad hell or anything, but apparently they had beef.
Well, the beef is, I mean, they kind of showed it in last episode where he's just like, keep your junk in your pants, basically, because all he does is sleep around. And I think that's what they mean. Plus he might be a little bit rebellious, but yeah, it's probably just the fact that he likes to sleep around. But that's not.
And they probably had issue when Constantine was younger, probably when he was in that like teen rebellious stage, probably.
And guess what else that's giving me?
Who?
Tywin and Tyrion.
Jesus Christ. Look.
Not that Haruko is Tywin. It's just the reaction of him having issues with his son sleeping around.
People are going to think that we just live a Song of Ice and Fire. Well, actually, we do. It's fine. It's okay.
You can find it everywhere. Sorry. You can.
Look, we know a lot about it, okay? It's fine. It's fine. I mean, like, I'm the Southern Mother Dragons, you're the Princess of Dragonstone. Those were our names before we met people.
I know.
I mean, it's not like we planned it, so.
No. I try to forget about A Song of Ice and Fire, but it's just there. I can't. It's just always going to show up.
Look, we embrace it at this point. We just embrace it. All right, so Francesca basically says, look, you need to give him like something big, give him purpose, give him an opportunity, and he will shine. Which sounds really great coming from her, but it's actually Valia telling her to do that. So it kind of takes a little of this is a great mom. But still.
But I think she does love her son. I do. Yes. I do. I mean, it's especially when she has that conversation with Valia. Like, she's like, so what? Was Constantine just a ruse? Yeah, because I would feel like that too, because all Valia cares about is Nez, I don't think she gives two shits about Constantine.
No. But yeah, I don't think Francesca's emotions for Haruko are fake either. We find out that the Bene Gesserit can have someone imprint on them, which is like love that never fails, I guess. I don't know exactly how it works, though.
It's similar to Jacob and Renesmee, and people always think it's gross. I get it because she was a child, but like, it's not like he's gonna go and have sex with that child. It's literally, I'll be there for you no matter what. I mean, I'm assuming that's the same thing. So she's gonna be like there for Haruko, but she's also twisting it too. But she can't get away from him.
It's like imprinting from Twilight plus a love spell.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Because he has heart eyes. He's like the heart eyes emoji at her. Like, he loves her. And
kisses her.
Yeah. He's not really hiding it. So then we go back to the Harkonnen apartment. And that's where Valia's talking to Francesca. And I just get the feeling that Francesca, she's going to do what Valia says, but there's hesitation there. I feel like everybody is starting to get like, okay, are we being led by like a complete nut? It's just something like, it's like Valia is getting like more and more wild. And I feel like everyone else is like, what? Huh?
Yeah, look at Sister Michaela. I mean, Sister Michaela chose a huge resistance, and she's all about the Fremen. So when we get to that part, you can see she even tells Theo, "You're very naive," basically.
Valia is just—she's Valiant. she's just valiant and everything. And like, she is on her throne no matter where she is. She could be sitting on a rock and she is just like, bow to me. So she tells Francesca, you know, what we said before, hey, go make sure Constantine is the new commander of the Imperial fleet. And hey, by the way, you also need to make sure that Nez can come study with us too. Just go do that.
She doesn't care about Constantine.
No, well, like if she's just moving chess pieces, because if Constantine's over the Imperial fleet and Francesca is the mother of Constantine, I mean, there she goes again. That means Valia has the fleet. There you go.
Well, yes, he's important, but not like Nez important or prophecy important. But I wanted to say, so you know, at the Imperium palace, did you notice the painting that she was looking at, Francesca?
No, what was it?
It was, well, I thought at first it was like Haviko and his wife, but you know, she does mention his dad, so I'm assuming it's his dad and his mom. It's a really cool painting, and I want to know who made it because it's beautiful.
Interesting.
Sitting on the throne, but she was staring at it like really staring at it.
If that was his parents, wait a minute. Was she staring at that, imagining what it would have been like if she could have married him?
I think so.
Oh, I'm glad you noticed that.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong, and it could be nothing, but I always think there's a purpose for everything. So
there's a purpose for everything. So that makes me think that Haviko met Francesca first.
Yeah. I think he did.
Damn. Valia. Ladies and gentlemen.
Valia knows how to work it when her plans are actually worked.
Yeah, she really does. Oh, she's okay, still unbothered. Like, at some point, is she gonna have a breakdown or something? I guess not. I mean, she's a great character, but sometimes I just want to be like, come on. For
great
real?
Acting.
Yes, God, she's acting the hell out of the show. So Francesca tells Constantine that he needs to protect his sister from harm, even if it comes from people who claim to love her. What did you think about that?
Well, since I thought it was going to be, because everybody and their mom knows that Kieran and Nez are a thing, so I thought it was that, but it could be against like her family, like her mom or her dad, but I don't see Constantine doing anything to his dad.
No, but
it's probably Kieran, but I don't know.
I think it's Kieran. But were you surprised at what happens next? Or did you feel it coming? Yeah.
No, I did not expect that. I did not expect him to do what he did, and I was very upset because I was like, I get it. You found something that was bad, and I get it. You want to be loved by your father, but I mean, Kieran is a good guy. He is.
Basically, Desmond's talking to Constantine. And then here comes Kieran. And so Desmond leaves. And then they're just having like kind of a back and forth. And then you see like guards walk in and like, oh, he's arrested. I was like, oh, okay. Wow.
We found that map. So, yeah.
I mean, thing is though, Kieran's almost been found out like 8 times at this point. So it was bound to happen. I don't think it was a super surprise to him. I think he figured at some point he would probably either get hurt.
Well, that's why he smiles. But I was upset for him, you know?
Yeah. House Atreides is having a hard time. Oh. Yeah, we'll get into that too. Okay, so Constantine gets nominated and Natalia is completely disgusted, gets up and leaves the dinner. And I was like, whoa, that's very obvious. And Haviko's just like, eh. And Nez goes to visit Kieran And she has a little bit of the voice. I was like, oh, well, look at you. Apparently she'd been practicing. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I really liked that scene, and I liked how she believed him and everything. Like, he was telling the truth, and I was happy that he was telling the truth, and it was just really good.
That means she had been practicing long enough that she had it. Like, it's not fully the voice that's like super scary, but it was enough to get the truth out of him. So I was like, look at her. So, which probably means that she'll be hella powerful if she can already do that. I mean, come on.
Well, there's a reason why she was chosen, so
there you
makes
go.
Sense.
So she finds out, yeah, he worked with the rebellion, but he tells her it's for the good of the Imperium, and that's just a complicated situation.
But he did say that he picked her over his duties. So, like, duties to the rebellion. I mean, he still had to do the rebellion, but he did say, I picked you. So, He loves her very much.
Yep. About Desmond and his new appointment. You talk about that.
Well, so Haviko named him the Barash or whatever, however you say it. Basically, Bashar. So they're a military rank. It's a military rank of the Sardaukar. So I'm assuming this is going to be the beginning of that, or it's something different or something similar to the Sardaukar, but they kind of looked like them at some points. So I'm just going to assume that's what it is. And it's comparable to a colonel, but a slightly higher.
Okay. I looked it up and it said it seems to be a precursor to the Sardaukar. I don't know if I said that right. So that's the Emperor's own fanatical elite forces, like during the time of Paul Atreides. So we're seeing another beginning of something, which is really cool. So these are insanely loyal, maybe a touch psycho. This is like Kingsguard, but like amped up. Like you take Kingsguard, then you take like City Watch, and then you mix in a bit of fanatical something, and then you get this. And they don't look like anybody you would want to mess with ever.
He's also got a new outfit change too, and I really liked this outfit.
Yeah, it makes him look more menacing and powerful. I mean, he still has the crazy eyes, but we're not getting the, like I'm a supplicant, like, I bleed when I use my power. We're getting the, hey, I've got power now and I'm going to take out all the witches.
Yep. So Haro came to talk to Dez. I call him Dez or Space Rhaegar now.
Do you realize you just said Rhaegar?
Did I?
Yep.
Oops.
I love that so much.
Ragnar. There we go.
Oh no, that's a Freudian slip. This is great. This is fantastic. Rhaegar Targaryen.
I think I spent too much talking about Rhaegar Targaryen.
No, it's done. Andrea, it's done. It's done. You can't take it back. Rhaegar is etched in your brain and heart. I love this. This is great.
Too much.
Look, he needs that. Damn it. People talk too much shit about Rhaegar. Rhaegar is Daenerys' brother, just in case anybody doesn't know that. Anyway, I digress.
And Jon Snow's dad. Anyway, yeah.
He's got a harp.
Yep.
He's Jon Snow's dad.
Jon Snow's dad is a singer. Okay.
Damn it, Andrea. I was not expecting that. And I hear a collective bunch of snow bros going.
Yeah, they're mad because he's obviously Ned Stark's son. Anyway, cold
hands. What?
Okay, so he goes to see Space Ragnar, and there we go. Mm-hmm. And so I thought it was funny when he called him Bashar, but the Bashar, like Lord Bashar. And I was like, so did that spread around? I mean, because everybody talks about it. So I'm like, wow, news travels really fast in this place.
Yeah, it has to. Or wait, did he have something on that would show that or rank? I don't know.
Maybe I should have looked. I didn't really look. So
everybody
basically,
knows.
yeah, true. So basically, Haro came to like say, "Hey, I didn't mean to, like what I did. I'm sorry." Like he came to apologize for accusing the Emperor of murder, and it's funny because Desmond's just like, "Hey, this is treasonous what you did," and I'm like, "Well, if he has evidence, it's not treasonous. Like if it's true and he had evidence, then it's not treasonous to accuse somebody of murdering a child, you know."
Yep.
So
Desmond's not impressed though.
No, he's not. And but I like Haro's performance because he kept saying I was misguided. My aunt is terrible, basically all this stuff. And I'm like, you are really pushing it. Like you're really saying horrible things about your aunt. And I just thought maybe this was Theo. At first I was like, is this really Haro or is this Theo?
Oh, and good point. Look at you. I didn't even think about that. Damn.
But then I was wrong because Haro, you do see him again at the, coming back. So, but it just, that's what it was giving. Cause I was like, why is he talking so much crap about his aunt, But it's probably because Valia's like, he really hates me. He really hates me. So you better lay it on thick,
I feel like Haro is playing both sides though. I really do.
He might be smarter than people think, to be honest.
Or like ickier. You know what I mean? Like it's giving like Laris. It's giving like I'm just, like a snake and I'm just going to go with whichever way is going to be the best for me. He even has that look. He has that look of like, I don't go outside much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, yeah, I just really I thought it was really good acting on his part. Like I said, everybody has a great scene in this episode. But he's, so Desmond's like, I need proof that cause I think they're meddling in spice trade, to weaken the Emperor. And which is, I mean, I think it's great that he knows that he's being weakened, but like, I think they've got their, what do you always say? Fingers in a lot of different pies.
Oh my God. Like we're beyond pies now. Like fingers and pies and toes and cupcakes. And I mean, like there's just so many moving pieces that it's insane. But yeah, that's me doing Southern phrasing. Valia has her fingers in a lot of spice pies.
He does. Well, because apparently, so Haro said that there's pirates that hijacked his whale fur trading thing, and then he was like not looking for the pirates because it took forever because he was trying to figure out who the pirates were, and then instead he looked at the contraband, and apparently in Zimia there's an underground market run by a gang of Iraqians smugglers. So I thought that was interesting, and then the rebels use the underground market to, buy thinking machines.
And that got my attention because I'm like, ooh, what all has been made and what all's out there and what all are we going to see?
I want to see this underground market.
I do too. But let me ask you this. When he was talking about like pirates stealing like fuzzy whale, were you thinking, ooh, I want to see a pirate?
Yes. I want to know what a space pirate looks like.
Andrea loves pirates, man. She loves pirates and the Iron Board, which are their pirates, and a space pirate that steals fuzzy whale. I mean,
so I think that'd be awesome. And then, so basically Des is like impressed. And I thought it was funny how he talks about the spice trade and then like, meddling with it while they're doing a line of spice. I just think that's funny.
Yep.
And I think Des is a little too addicted to the spice. That's just what I've noticed in this episode.
Yeah, he is. He definitely is. And I'm sure that occurred when he was on Arrakis, and I'm sure it's rampant with soldiers. I'm sure it is.
It'll be, I mean, that's fine. I just noticed a lot about that. And then,
hey, wait a minute. Do you think they would give soldiers spice to make them like stronger and like, you know, because they used to give amphetamines to soldiers like in reality? That would not shock me.
That wouldn't shock me at all. You're right.
Mm-mm.
And then, so basically at the end of this, Desmond needs proof that Valia is involved. So he was impressed, but not too impressed. He wants evidence. And then he gives him some kind of orb looking thinking machine. And that just shows me that he doesn't give two craps about the thinking machines. It's the sisters. He wants to kill the sisters.
Yep. And everything else is just like a byproduct of his main purpose, which is to get rid of every Bene Gesserit.
It was a cool scene.
It was very well written, very well acted. I love the fact that Desmond can be that kooky and then he could just get down to business. Like, and it makes you wonder, which one is he? I guess he's a bit of both.
Desmond talks to he invites Kieran to come out with him to look for, the people, like the rest of the people that have done bad things with thinking machines. So he's invited him to come out, and obviously Kieran's like, no, these are, like, in his head, he's like, these are my people. And like he goes to the bar to warn Michaela. Sister Michaela, she's she's been working on this for years. You find that out in this episode. And I mean, she built this forever. And, so she's putting up like bombs. They're gonna blow up the place. And then Desmond comes in with his assassin sort of car people. And it was really cool because she was by herself and he just walks in all confident. And he's just like, hey, like, I'm sure you've got crap here. And like, he turns the whole place upside down, which I felt really bad about because that was such a nice bar, but I get it. They're looking for stuff.
I know, but I was like, cause she's just watching them and they're just trashing the place.
And she looks sad. Like it was, and it was kind of a creepy, cool scene with him talking to her. Like, I don't know why he had to get so close to her, but it was interesting.
Do you think he knows?
Well, he finds out that she is a Bene Gesserit because he finds the address in the attic or whatever I'm going to call it an attic.
Think he knew? Do you think he thought it before? Maybe.
He might have, but he knew that I did like what he said. I have it written here somewhere. I do like that he said, that, cause he was talking to her because she's Fremen. I've found a different way to survive. And then he says, or a different way to kill.
Oh, that's right.
And God treated Arrakis to train the faithful. I live here.
Jeez.
Yes, that scene was really cool. I really enjoyed that scene. And then they go searching all over the place for, obviously thinking machines and stuff, like proving that they're part of the rebellion. Mm-hmm. And Kieran is downstairs I'm going to assume it's downstairs. I'm just going to call these like a house. Okay. So
yeah, he's downstairs. That's how I think of it. There's no other way. So yeah, downstairs.
And Desmond is searching upstairs, and this is the scene where I knew he was addicted to spice because he was looking through the spice sacks, and he did this thing where he's like breathed in,
Yep.
Yeah. And Kieran is downstairs and he's setting up the rest of the bombs, and he hears people coming downstairs, so he kills two people, which I really loved. Then he goes upstairs, kills another person, and then because he's like, we got to get out of here because we're gonna blow this place up. And she helps kill two, and Kieran in here finds out that she's a Bene Gesserit too, because she's got that blade that they all use. Mm-hmm. And he's seen that blade before, obviously. And then Desmond finds the dress that she's a Bene Gesserit.
Yeah, he's not real happy about that.
No. And the whole place, what I liked about it is that they get out, they blow up the place, and they think Desmond's dead, but he's not because he used that shield thing. I don't know why they didn't think he'd do that.
I don't know either, unless they thought he wouldn't have time or it wasn't strong enough. Because, I mean, that thing looked like it was struggling.
Yes, that's very true.
It looks like, just in case, anybody wants to know, It looks just like in Star Trek when they put up shields, you just see like a blue outline and it protects, and he just like, presses a button and it's a personal shield. But this explosion is so massive, it looks like it's testing everything that thing has.
Yeah.
That maybe they thought it was big enough, that even that wouldn't help him. But Desmond is like a cat. He's got a lot of lives, and he's okay.
Yes, and then now we can but I really liked the scene with Kieran, and when he found out that she's a Bene Gesserit, and then he tells her, "I don't want to have to see you again." I'm like, oh, that's sad.
Yeah, but I think she's confused right now too. I think she feels like she's pulled in several directions. Because she is. I mean, she was a rebel. She's a Fremen. And she's a Bene Gesserit. No, I don't envy her on that. I don't envy her at all.
Well, I like her scene with Alia because she says, I'm not going to put my people ahead of me. I'm not going to sacrifice them like I sacrificed those other people. So I do like that. She does have a backbone.
And the irony is that came from Desmond because he reminded her of where she came from.
Yep.
So he planted a seed. Yeah, Space Ragnar's pretty smart. I think that was intentional. Empress Natalia decides to go visit Desmond in his quarters where he is recovering from the explosion, which means that the shield worked, but not completely. And right off the bat, they're alone. And you also know that Havako is not paying any attention to Natalia at this point. All he can see is Francesca. That's it. So she's doing that thing she's basically why are you so broken? And I was like, does she really want to know? Or is this kind of like a manipulative thing, or both? And I kind of think it's both. And she tells him, she's like, the sisterhood took everything from me. What'd they do to you? And that's what he says. The woman who gave birth to me was a sister, sent me to live among scavengers. That I need to know more about. But since they have now trauma bonded, Natalia kisses him and promises that together they will rid the Imperium of the Sisterhood. And it's left open if something else happens between them after that. We don't know if it's a kiss or more than a kiss, but we don't like it.
No, see, and I'm a spicy reader. I love spicy books. I love dark romance, but I don't understand why they have to it's a science fiction show. I mean, I expect a little bit, but we've already seen a really horrible sex scene. No offense to the actors, but I just didn't like it, and we didn't like it. And now we're seeing a kiss between two people that didn't really need it necessarily, just because I get why she did it and it's fine. But he was already on her side. So
yeah, this is totally Natalia getting with someone else because she knows what her husband is doing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. Because, yeah, I think she would have had that conversation with him regardless. But the kiss and whatever else happens, that is because she is hurt and she knows her husband is likely sleeping with Francesca somewhere. So she goes and finds Desmond. That's what that is. Because she knows she's losing her power again. And she just got it back. So, and maybe she wants to make sure Desmond is really loyal.
Yeah. I mean, he looks surprised that she kissed him, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's going to end up being more than a kiss. If it isn't this time, I think it will at some point. So after that, we go back to the Harkonnen apartment, and it's going to be Bobby B's funeral.
I just wanted to say I thought it was funny how Harrow's like, hey, I'm gonna go. Do you want to come with me and say your goodbyes? And Valia's just like, I've already said my goodbyes. I'm like, did you? And then
Jesus.
And then he's like, oh, I'm sure he really enjoyed those goodbyes. I'm like, yeah, he died.
Yeah, he knows, and he's not bothered by it, and he knows.
Which is sad. I feel bad for that uncle. That uncle never even did anything wrong. Like, I feel bad for Bobby B.
Look, man, House Harkonnen, they're not great people. I mean, not all of them, but I mean, it makes sense because you go forward to the Dune movies and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, that tracks. Because I mean, we're not meant to like House Harkonnen. We're not. I mean, obviously everybody's like Atreides. I mean, that's just how it is, and it's kind of being set up like that, which makes perfect sense. And Valia does give him the House Harkonnen ring, and he's very happy about that, obviously.
Yeah. Really cool.
He's a little man, and he just wants to be special really, really bad. And you do see him hide something in his suit. And I would assume that's whatever Desmond gave him.
Yeah, it's the thinking machine.
So, does he have the whole place bugged?
No. I don't think so.
But he does something. Like, he's trying to get her to say stuff at some point. That's why, like, at the end, he's like, just treat this like it's your own home.
I think he's probably trying to convince her to say stuff. I don't know if he might have something bugged, or like he's got a thinking machine, so you never know. But he's got to get some evidence somehow, right? So
I'm wondering if it's a camera or a bug or something. I could be wrong. But I feel like he wants to leave. I mean, he has to anyway, but I feel like he really wants her to, like, spill tea. Because, oh, God, wouldn't he be powerful then? If you know Valia's tea.
She won't tell him, though.
No. She knows everything he's doing. He's an idiot. Look, yeah. I get it, dude. I know Desmond's really charismatic and that seems like a good deal, but, like, do you not understand your family member right there and she's scary as shit?
Yeah.
Like, dude, she's just gonna, like, tell you, get out your knife. And you're gone.
Yep.
You scrawny thing. Anyway. I don't see him making it for an extended period of time. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. So, Jen is talking, and you see Lila, like, she shivers, and I was not expecting this, and this is so cool. It's probably my favorite thing from the episode. Lila starts talking, and she's Mother Raquella. And her mannerisms change. Her voice is different. Everything. It's so well done. I really was impressed with that. And Raquella, who knows everything, she says that's not a nightmare that y'all are having. It's a vision of the reckoning. And if he succeeds, humanity will backslide into self-destruction. And apparently she had that exact nightmare on her deathbed.
Yep.
So that's creepy as hell. Okay, so Jen's like, you know what, we should probably stay here. And Raquel's like, you know what, can you just not? And she doesn't care who sees her and who knows, because she's like, I'm on a mission and I have a limited amount of time in control of this body. So it's almost funny. It's not, but it's just like Tula is trying to hide that it's Raquella. And Raquella's just like, just move away. Just let me start doing my stuff. So she automatically starts trying to figure out what's going on with all of the sisterhood while in the nightmare, and she already has ideas about it. And she really doesn't care who sees her. And so she's analyzing a brain sample.
From Kesha.
Yes, that's it. So it's a brain sample from Kasha, and it is an enzyme. I had to look this up because it gets very sciencey, which I love. But so it's the same enzyme that was used by the thinking machines when they created the ominous plague to try and decimate the human race.
Yep.
I thought the thinking machines just destroyed technology. I didn't know that there was like, I guess later on, they just wanted to take out all of humanity. So I guess.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think that was kind of close to the end of the wars, and that's why the humans really wanted them to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like it got pretty damn close too.
Did you notice when they were in that room, you know, that tusk thing that Griffin made Tula?
Yeah.
Sister, Raquella just kind of flicks it away.
Yeah.
It just, that kind of made me sad a little bit.
I don't know if that was on purpose or if that's just for us to like know that it's Raquella and not Lila at all.
Well, we know Lila's. I mean, I don't know. That could be, but they focused a little too long on it for me to think that way. I think it's just, she just doesn't, I mean, she doesn't know, obviously. I don't think Raquella doesn't even know about it, probably. So it's fine, but I just felt bad. I wanted a reaction from Tula and we didn't get that, so.
Yeah, and Tula's freaked out because Raquella, like, really is just like, you know what, I'm here. If somebody finds out about it, oh well. And Tula's just looking paranoid at this point.
And you know, Sister Avila had even a good scene too during this part. I even liked it. It was really good because she's just like, what abomination is this? Like, it was just like the way that she was reacting to it.
Oh my God, yeah. Because I mean, you know, she's old school and also like value spy. So it's like, of course she shows up, obviously. And she looks at Lila. She knows what's going on. She's like, abomination. So get this though. So abomination has a very specific context. It's the term that Bene Gesserit used to describe what happens when someone is possessed by the genetic memory of a forebearer. So, like, again, no, I'm not going to talk about A Song of Ice and Fire. I can't. But that's what it made me think of. Somebody it reminded me of Varamir Six Skins. But
yeah,
like a human taking over another human, abomination. Okay, so then we have Raquella, and she has figured out that the enzyme has been turned into a virus. And that's why everyone has it. But who did that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Whoever gave, because this was in Kasha's brain cell, right?
Yeah.
So whoever gave Desmond these powers is who created this virus. That's what I think.
Do you think? Wait a minute.
Probably a thinking machine, to be honest.
That's what I was going to say. Do you think we're going to like see some place and there's just going to be like some thinking machines that are like working together and doing stuff? Oh, that would be wild.
Well, like I said, this was the most scientific-y episode we've had so far. I mean, yes, we've seen the thinking machines and they're scientific-y, but scientific-y is not a word. I'm sorry, but I'm using it. So this was the most science fiction feel of all the episodes. So I am very excited. And I honestly think because they all collectively are seeing those blue eyes, which are the thinking machine, I think the thinking machine is creating all this.
Man, if there is a surviving thinking machine that doesn't look like the one that the sisterhood has, but if it's like looks like a robot, like something like that, that would be freaking wild and awesome. Oh, that would be so cool. Because, oh my God, like it wouldn't be that shocking to know that one survived.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, look, the Bene Gesserits have one, so I'm sure and I think the one that we're all thinking is happening is going to be way bigger than the one the Bene Gesserits have. Way bigger.
You remember in the first episode, you remember that like badass thinking machine that was just like stomping along and it was creepy and cool? What if it's that guy? I wish it was that guy. That'd be great. It's probably not.
Hey,
like
can humans be turned into thinking machines?
Okay, so yes, because the two biggest theories about Desmond are that of course, like these are the theories that were debunked by this episode. One was that he's a Gola, which is like a clone. And the other theory was that he's a thinking machine. So if that's a theory, then that means it's possible.
Do you think Varian Atreides is a thinking machine? Like,
Damn.
Turned into one?
Oh my God.
So what the hell happened to him? Like, nobody says what happened to him.
You're right. If he's not a thinking machine, then they made another one. They made a Gola, a clone. Because why did he live so long?
He lived so long.
When are we going to find out about him?
We don't know what happened to him. So, like, I feel like history would have said at some point what happened to him, and we haven't.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
He's such a big part of the story.
What if he's it?
Yeah, he could be the prophecy person, the one they're talking about. Yes.
It's him.
It's got to be him. We could be wrong, but
no. This is what happens when you and I both think. This is what happened. It's him.
Yep.
It's him.
Yep.
He knows his entire house was murdered.
Yep.
He knows Desmond is an Atreides. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
That's why they haven't brought him up again.
Nope.
Varian Atreides is either a thinking machine or he is a clone, but that he killed their brother Griffin. We still don't know what that was about. We still have no idea, which is odd. Oh my God, he's going to be in the next episode. What if we just figured all that out? I'm going to be so proud. Even if we didn't, that's really cool. I think we're right.
I literally just thought of that, like right this second. I was like, he's got to be a thinking machine, or he's got to, be a clone. That would make a lot of sense. And he's such a big part of the story, just like Kieran is, because he's an Atreides, and Desmond is.
And we hear about him, and then all of a sudden we stop hearing about him.
Yeah.
Which in a story means either they weren't important or something's coming.
Look, we're both from A Song of Ice and Fire. We both look into a lot of theories, and this is just how we work.
Yeah, I mean, we're just like that, man. I mean, like, we could dissect, like, okay, Andrea's talking about Francesca and her wearing the color red. She could dissect that for you. I mean, it's red because of love. It's red because of the blood that's going to be shed. Like, this is how we are. This is what we do. It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. We're real nerdy. I mean, that's why the podcast is named what it is. Do you want to talk about the shocker?
Yeah. So, by the way, the sisters are like half there and half leaving because they're scared, which I don't blame them. But
hell yeah.
They don't have a dog in this race. It's the leadership that really should be worried, to be honest. Well, I don't know. I'm sure Desmond. I don't want to think that Desmond would kill like innocent children, but you know,
he already has killed one, man.
Well,
yeah.
But true, he did. Yeah. Okay, that's a lie. Okay,
he's on a mission.
He's gonna kill them all. Okay, all right. So
he's Anakin.
I mean, well, then it's a good thing those girls are getting the hell out of Dodge. Okay, so Valia sends a message to Tula, and Tula listens to it, and Valia tells her that she's got this blood sample that she wants her to look at and put it into to look into the index or whatever, to find genetic index and find who his parents are or his bloodline. And, he's got House Harkonnen and House Atreides blood.
Man, it is a shocker.
Who is House Harkonnen and Atreides that got together? Well, that is Tula and Ori. So, so you could think of Tula's reaction in several different ways. I mean, I'm going to give my opinion and you can give yours. I personally think that she's upset because she gave him up, and, she loves him, but she had to give him up because her sister would have probably killed him. And I think she gave him up because of that, or had her kill him. And, whoever she gave them to obviously didn't treat them right, but maybe she thought that. And she also didn't, that he would be treated well. And she also didn't think he would turn out to be the way he is, part of this prophecy.
Yes. My thought was possibly that he was born and Valia could have just told Tula that the baby died. That wouldn't shock me. Valia will do anything. Or Valia could have taken the baby, because we know the Bene Gesserit aren't allowed to bond with their children. We know that. And Valia could have said that, he was taken to some place where he would be very well cared for, which obviously did not happen. So it's one of those, because the look on Tula's face, it's heartbreaking. And you're probably right, because she knows what he is, and that he's not had a good life, and that she just looks like she's in immense pain.
And that brings me...
That baby was born out of love. I mean, honestly, really, he was made from love. She loved him.
And, it brings me back to what Jen said. What have you given up? What have you lost? And now we can add to the list her baby, her own child.
That's true. That is so true. Because Tula looks so sad when Jen's like, "What have you given up?" And Tula's just like, "More than you'll ever know." And it's like, oh. And then we find that out. Yeah, it adds so much to it, because we know that Tula treated Lila like a daughter, and Valia got on to her about it. So now we know that Valia knew Tula had a baby that she couldn't love, and Valia still was like, "You treat her like a daughter." And it's like, damn, Valia, damn.
Hey, do you think Desmond knows who his mom is? The actual person, or does he just know it's a Bene Gesserit?
I think he knows who it is because of the disdain he had for Valia.
That makes a lot more sense now, the disdain he has for her.
Yeah, because at first I thought the disdain was because, she's the leader. But now I think it's because he knows that's Tula's sister. He knows. I mean, he knows who Tula is, Valia. I'm sure he knew who Raquella was. He has information. This is even more than what I thought, because where is he?
We don't know. He might be on Arrakis, but they've made a purpose of putting him in a lot of episodes, just bits and pieces. So I think everything matters in this show. I mean, most of my shows I watch, I think everything matters. Every little, even the smallest details, I've always thought like that, always been like that. So I think he is something, because why else would they talk about him so much?
Okay. So this is not a spoiler, because this is the past, but so the books don't really go into much detail how long he lived. After the war, he hung around, wrote some books, and then he faded into obscurity. Later on, he was enhanced.
Well, that only means one thing to me.
Ooh. There's a possibility that he was enhanced with nanotechnology, which is actually a thing now. And the first time I ever heard of nanotechnology and nanites was in Star Trek The Next Generation. And that was like just beginning to be an actual thing. And it was, just in case you're a Star Trek nerd, it's Dr. Crusher talking about how to remove the Borg implants from Picard that nanites could go in. But then they, it's not quick enough. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, I'm that nerdy.
him and Kieran are related.
Holy shit. So House Atreides has, 3 people that we know of now?
Yeah, that are alive. I mean, at least I hope Kieran's dad is. I still say Oscar Tully in space is his dad. I'm sure it is.
I feel like you're right on that.
But where is he? He's got to be there somewhere.
Okay, so he was born on Earth to a female human slave of the thinking machines who had been impregnated with the sperm of the Titan leader, General Agamemnon.
Huh.
Of whom Vorian was his 13th son. Okay, so like these are supposed to be people like this is us like so far in the future we can't even understand it, right? Listen to this. Though he was aware that his lineage stretched back to the Greeks, Vorian never knew his mother and spent little time with his warring father despite growing a close bond with him.
How?
Impregnated with the sperm of the Titan leader General Agamemnon.
Yep.
What the?
13th son. That's a lot of kids.
And 13, you know what that means. Like, I don't even know who General Agamemnon is. Apparently he's a Titan, and he was the ruthless main leader of the 20 Titans. He led the Titans in overthrowing the socio-political decay of the old empire. Okay, and Vorian ended up being his protege. Yeah, something's going to happen with that in the next episode. You can't tell me it's not.
Yeah, and I gave this episode a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of freaking 10. Oddly enough, the Lila Raquella was probably my favorite. I was just so impressed because like the mannerisms changed, the voice changed, like she even squinted her eyes differently. I hope people notice how well she did that. I really do.
She was very well acted. I hope she gets nominated for something. But that was different. That's really good acting in my opinion. And I think, like I said, I think every single person had a really good episode, and I am obsessed with the clothing in this episode, and the whole plot of this episode was great. So
yeah, and I mean, I hope we get a book. Me and Andrea we want a book. Meaning we want a lore book, a coffee table book, as some people would call it, with pictures and information and costumes. And they've done that with Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. And so I feel like we have a chance that it might be made, and that would really tickle the shit out of us.
Yes.
We always want a book, especially if it has artwork and pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited. We only have one more episode, but I have a feeling it's going to be a doozy.
As always, it's Amanda here to say thank you to all of our listeners and to ask that if you like this week's episode, leave us an honest rating. And if you'd like to continue the discussion, please feel free to comment on our post over at our Girls Nerd Out podcast account on Instagram. If you're interested in buying any of our merch to support the podcast and so that we can continue to release weekly episodes, then check it out over at girlsnerdoutpodcast.com. Our podcast logo was designed by Chairman Bilal over on Fiverr. Our podcast merch was put together by me, myself, and I at Southern Mother of Dragons on all social media. If you're interested in my personal merch, check it out at southernmotherofdragons.com. And the designs for that merch were put together by Ryuchi Studios on Etsy after an in-depth back and forth discussion with me to find the perfect merch for me and my loyal supporters. The music playing while I tell you about all the ways you can support us and the production of the podcast is Kawaii Girl by Pumpkin Pie. Thanks for listening.
Hey, this is Andrea.
And this is Amanda.
And you just listened to
Girls Nerd Out.